Welcome to another story by Mummy Imagination. Tonight's bedtime story and relaxing meditation is called A Trip to the Moon. So by now you should have brushed your teeth, you're into your pajamas, and you're laying in bed. Get all comfy. Make sure your pillow's comfy and your doon is on the right way and you feel all comfy. And just before you get ready for the story, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you haven't done it already, subscribe to our channel so you can watch another story tomorrow night. A Trip to the Moon. I went on camp with school. It was to a space station. The whole class came. We learned everything about the moon. We also learnt about the planets and the stars and the universe. I love stories about the universe and the moon. I always wanted to go. I've always wondered what's out there. I love the night sky, looking at the stars. I love counting the stars. Sometimes when I'm laying in bed, I close my eyes and I count as many stars as I can see in my imagination. Anyway, this day, we were at the space station. And like I said, it was the end of the day. And the leader of the space station asked for one child who really loved the space, the moon, the stars, and the planet to raise their hand for a special mission. I've been good at school all week. I got a gold star last Friday for being so good. So my teacher said that I could go on this special mission. All the other kids went back to school on the bus, and they called my parents and got the okay for me to go on the mission, and I was so excited. I was going to go to the moon with real astronauts who had been there before. They said they had a secret mission that they needed one child for. And I was that child. I've never been so excited and so nervous in all my life. We got into our spacesuits and we got into the spaceship. They pressed all these buttons. There was green buttons, blue buttons, red buttons, and orange buttons. But there was one big red button. The head astronaut said I could press the big red button. He had a special microphone on his suit. He started counting down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then he gave me the nod. And I pressed the big red button. Whoosh! The spaceship took off. I've never gone so fast in all my life. It felt like I was on the world's biggest roller coaster, going so high, higher, higher. I was so nervous, but I looked down and I could see the buildings and the houses getting smaller and smaller so quickly. All of a sudden, all I could see was earth. And then I couldn't see anything but clouds. A few moments later, everything went dark. We had gone into space. And we were starting to pass stars. The biggest, brightest stars you've ever seen. I've never seen anything so shiny. It was brighter than 1,000,000 diamonds all put together. And we were flying past, headed straight for the moon. The captain of the spaceship, he landed so perfectly on the moon, you could tell he'd been here before. I always thought the moon was empty, that there was no one there, that it was just grey and rocks everywhere. But this was different. There were houses, lots of houses, tiny houses, big enough for children or dwarfs or big dogs. And they were all different colours. They were really bright. There was red houses, blue houses, purple houses, green houses. This was really strange. Nothing like I'd seen on TV. Nothing like I'd been told at school. We got out of the spaceship, all 5 of us, and we started walking up a really brightly coloured yellow path. We headed towards the first house and we knocked on the door. The astronaut was talking to somebody through the window, but it was in a different language. I'd never heard him speak like that before. And out of the front door came a little green man. He looked kind of like me, like an old man, but he was only the size of maybe someone who was 9 or 10. He had a big head and a little body. He was dressed in a beautiful blue suit, and he had the 2 of the biggest eyes I've ever seen. And he looked grumpy. He had a big frown on his face. He started talking to the astronaut in their funny language again. They looked like they were arguing, but the astronaut started pointing to me. What could he want with me? Why was he pointing at me? All of a sudden, the astronaut and the alien man came over to me. The alien asked how old I was. I told him I was 9. All of a sudden he smiled. He grabbed me by the hand. His hand was so warm. It actually made me feel better. And he took me inside his house. His house was green everywhere. The couches were green, the TV was green, the carpet was green, the walls were green. Everything was green. There was a lady alien inside, and she was making a cake, and that was green. And there was a little fluffy puppy dog in there, and he was green too. Then a smaller alien came out. He was the size of my younger brother. I think he was about 4. the little alien came out and he walked straight up to me and he said in perfect English, "How old are you?" I told him, "I'm 9. As soon as he heard my age, a big smile came on his face. He grabbed me by the hand and he dragged me through the house and out a side door. And when we got outside, there was the biggest roller coaster I have ever seen. It had bright shining lights and big music playing so loudly. He dragged me along to the first row of the roller coaster and dragged me in the front seat. He nodded for me to put on the seatbelt, and I did. And as soon as my seatbelt clicked into the holder, the roller coaster took off. It was one of those ones that went upside down. I'd never gone so fast in all my life. I think this was even faster than the spaceship that got us here. We went around and around and upside down. We did loopy loops. It was so fast. I almost lost my breath. All of a sudden, the roller coaster came to a stop and the ride was over. And the little alien smiled and nodded, and off we went again. It was so much fun. Loop-de-loop, upside down, back to front, sailing through space on the bestest roller coaster. I was having the best time of my life. Once again, when it stopped, he nodded, smiled, and off we went. We did this about 20 times. I thought I was going to be sick, but I was having so much fun. After about 22 times on the roller coaster, at the end, the little alien finally jumped off. He walked back inside, spoke in his own language to the older alien, and they all grinned and smiled. Everyone was laughing, and the astronauts were all sitting on a couch waiting for me. They got up off the green couch, they grabbed my hand, and they said that I did my job well, and it was time to go back to Earth. We said goodbye and got back in the spaceship and zoomed back down past the stars, past the clouds, and back to Earth. The astronauts told me that they'd found this village of aliens living on the moon, and they'd been visiting there for a very long time. But there was one child alien who had no one to play with, and the grown-up aliens wouldn't talk to the astronauts until they brought a child along to play. So that lucky child was me. From then on, every Friday afternoon at 4 o'clock, my dad drove to the space station and I would jump on the spaceship with the other astronauts and zoom off to the moon and have my play date with the little boy alien. I couldn't tell anyone. It was a super secret mission. But ever since I started playing with the little boy, the aliens would do business with the grown-ups from Earth. And they were trading and teaching each other's languages and learning about each other's cultures. All because of me. It was fantastic. But when I got home every night, I was so tired from that roller coaster. Tired from having so much fun on the moon. I'd jump into bed and I would just sink into the mattress. My legs felt like jelly. My arms felt like spaghetti. And my head just sunk deep into the pillow. I was so tired. couldn't wait to go the next Friday. And that's the end of the story. Have you ever dreamed about going to the moon? Have you ever wondered about the stars in the sky? Do you think there really could be a family of aliens out there? Now it's time for us to get ready to go to sleep. Now that the story's over, if you're still awake with me, I want you to take a deep breath in and out again. Another deep breath in and let it all out. One more deep breath and let it out. Make sure your eyes are closed. I want you to imagine the dark sky. It's night time and all the stars are shining. How many stars can you see? I want you to spend some time and count as many stars as you can. How many stars are in your sky? Have you counted them all? Now, one by one, I want you to fade the stars away. So for every sparkly star, it's going to fade to black. One by one, they're all going to turn off like little lights, ready for bedtime. There goes one. There goes two. There goes three. There goes 4. There goes 5. Now I want you to turn all the stars off like little lamps, one by one, until they're all gone. Have all the stars gone out now? The galaxy should be dark. Everyone's asleep. Even that little boy alien's gone to sleep now. And you should too. Now you can enjoy the rest of the music while you nod off to sleep. And don't forget, you can always listen to another story tomorrow. Enjoy your sleep. Good night.